Two, one. Hey guys, Long Haul Larry here. No Big Blue. I guess we could call this, what? Little Green? I don't know. Well, we got done with our friend's house here. Went over and pipes are frozen up. And I was able to get the pipes unthawed. And then I ran to town and got some heat tape. And got it all set up. Just put some heat tape around the spot where it already had heat tape all around these pipes, but I just put it around where it got frozen, and I put some new heat tape on there, ran an extension cord in there, and I said, well, when it gets below zero, you might want to just plug that one spot in there. Kind of out in the elements, so it's a good thing to get that done. But I'm going to do a little bit of work on this truck real quick, because I'm going to be hauling my snowmobile. And I do have a Jeep too, but the Jeep is kind of small for hauling that big snowmobile. And I've actually been doing some thinking. I've had this truck, this one here, for a long time. Both the Jeep and this one need some work. This one here right now, all it really needs is a brake caliper on the other side, but I'm going to do the brakes on both sides since I'm doing this. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to work on this thing. This thing's been actually sitting around for probably 6 months. So I decided I'm going to fix this one up. There's really not too much to do on this one. The brake pads really are not that bad on this thing. But, you know, I'm going to fix it up anyways. I'm going to put new ones in there. But, this truck here has got actually 394,000 miles on it, and it runs great. It's got the 5.4 Triton motor in it. I actually bought this thing in 2005 at an auction from the Indiana DOT. Or not the DOT, the DNR. And they had an auction, and they were getting rid of a bunch of vehicles, and they had this one. And I bought this vehicle, and the thing has full undercarriage, skid plates and everything. It's set up pretty nice. The inside has vinyl flooring, doesn't have carpet because it's for DNR and stuff. And in the back it had these metal racks that were back there for like dogs and stuff. So you carry dogs and everything. And it had a spotlight on the other side. I bought this thing for hardly nothing, and it was running a little bit rough. And I knew what it was. Ford, they use these spark packs, they call them. They put them on the spark plugs. And I've known that with the Ford, so I bought it, kind of knew that's what it was by the sound of it, and I got it home and put new spark plugs on it, and ran great. And guys, I put hundreds of thousands of miles on this thing. I've had this, my kids all drove this thing, you know, it's got some rust and stuff, but really it'll work. Both my Jeep and this kind of needed some attention, and I'm thinking I'm going to put the attention on this. I was going to buy a new truck. I was going to buy I've been looking around kind of for an F350, like an older model that has a 7.3 liter engine in it, and I was going to buy one of those and do a complete restoration on it, bring it back, you know, pretty much to new. I was going to do all that stuff, but I got this little business venture going on that all my money's going into, and then after that's gone, then I'm going to be saving on money to start doing a restoration on my semi. Too many projects, not enough money. So I'm just going to fix this one up and have this one running. So for my day-to-day and everything else. And this one will work for a while. So basically all I'm going to do here is just pull off this brake caliper. I bought all new rotors. They're cheap. It's not too bad, but it's worn. So I'm going to put a new rotor on there and put new brake pads on this side. And then the other side, I actually bought a new caliper, a brake caliper. So I'll change the rotor, brake pads, put a new brake caliper on that side over there. So pretty much, I guess, get started here. and then it's nice and flat where it's supposed to be. And then when I bleed the brakes and everything, it'll be exactly where it should be. So now I'm going to move over to the other side. I'm going to take the other side apart and fix up that side. Alright guys, here's the other side. Here's the problem. This thing it won't even move. This should be wiggling around. So this caliper is locked up. So that's what I kind of figured it was. So I just bought a new caliper in anticipation of this. So we got to get this one off. And this one's been on here for a while. This one's rusted. So this one is going to be a booger, I think. Alright, let's see what happens. I think it's in there. Nope. Not gonna come out. She's rusted in there. This one's being a booger. It's not gonna come out with an Allen wrench. So I gotta go to some extreme measures here. So we're gonna try the vice grips first. I got it. Might actually be able to get it with the Allen wrench now. Got it loose, moving. Yep, there we go. I might as well just go straight to the vice grips on the bottom one. Just gonna relieve a little bit of pressure. I'm just gonna do that just to there we go. Now she should start working loose. This has been in here a while though, so it's going to take a little bit. There we go. There we go. We're just going to set that aside. Grab our nut bolts off here.
I don't have the time to let the heater run. And without letting the heater run for hours, it takes hours for the walls to heat up, so it just won't hold heat. It'll come off, just needs persuasion. There we go. That's fine. That's why I broke the rotor right in half, slamming out with a sledgehammer. Well, we got her off. That's what counts. I think I'm going to take a wire wheel and hit this with a wire wheel, get some of this rust knocked off so the next one won't rust to it so much. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to go through that again. Somebody sent me a comment and said I should check out copper anti-seize. I don't know. I've always used the silver stuff. Never really even seen a copper stuff, I guess. They said the silver stuff will harden or something after a time. Oh, I've never seen that. Could check into it though. I go through a lot of anti-seize. I can't wear the glasses. They fog up too much. It's probably about zero in here. And it's probably warmer because I've had the heat running. You can see there's water dripping off of some of the snow, so it's probably pretty close to 30, I guess. There we go. Forgot about sitting on that lip there. There we go. Let's start piecing it all back together. Alright, so the wear bar is going to be out here. Well, guys, actually, I don't think the problem was the caliper. It's an old caliper. And tell you the truth, I think since I have the new one, I'm just going to put it on. But I think they had gotten rust behind here, behind these two catches right here. And what it was doing, it was pinching the brake pad and wasn't letting the brake pad float. So what I did, there we go. Yeah. Because I couldn't get the new brake pad in there. I was hammering on it and everything. And it just wouldn't, it wasn't sliding back and forth on here. It wasn't moving back and forth. So what I did is I took it over onto my bench and I took a grinder and I just ground off all the rust off this surface here and off of here and took that down just a little bit. And now they float. So I think that's what's happened is they got rust behind there. See, now I can put them in by hand and I can move them back and forth. I think it just got rust back behind here and it pushed these two out and pinched the brake pads into one spot. And then it, yeah, that works good. And then the brake pads wouldn't release. That was the whole problem. But I think I'm still going to do the brake cal. I already got it. I'm just going to put a new one on. Much better. Fit right in there now. Snow falling on my head. If you're wondering what this is, I actually got hit. It's probably about 3 years ago, actually. 4 years ago, something like that. I was going through a small town out here, and there was a curve around that I was coming around. And as I came around the curve, there was a bank right on the corner, and as I was coming down the road and I was coming around the curve, a lady was pulling out of the bank parking lot and was looking at her phone, wasn't even looking, and she just pulled right out. Boom! She hit me right here. Messed up my tire. Had to get a new tire and crinkled this into my door. I ended up knowing the woman, and they own a meat market. And this truck is, you know, I've gotten lots of use out of it. And her insurance company called me and everything else, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then they called me up and they're like, you know, you don't want to talk to the insurance? And I'm like, I really don't want to do all this with you. You know, I'm not hurt or none. I hit my head against the window, and it was only 3 weeks after I had neck surgery. I had 3 titanium plates put in my neck. But and I went to the doctor, and you know, they x-rayed it and everything, said, yeah, everything's fine. I took a couple days off, but I was independent, and not a big deal. But I was just like, you know, I'm not worried about it. The truck's not worth that much. I've gotten way past my money out of this truck. And I had to go to a dealership there, and they put on an old tire just so I could drive it home. And they paid for the tire, and then she's like, well, what about your tire and stuff, you know, and your fender and everything? I said, you know, if you want to buy a new tire, I'll go get a new tire. And so they went and bought me 2 brand new tires to match. And they bought me 2 brand new tires. They set it all up, and I took them in there and had 2 brand new tires put in. And I told them, forget about the fender. And I just took a pry bar and put it in between the door and the fender and pushed the fender back forward so I can get the door open. It's fine. I didn't want to go through it all. go. Now there we go. There's our new brake caliper. All shinies. I'm going to tell you, it came with a new bracket. I didn't know it came with a new bracket. I didn't think it did. So I might as well take that old rest of the one off. That was the whole problem right there. And put the new one on. Well, now, ain't that silly? Alright, now what do we want to do? Let's put a new brake caliper on, huh? I'm going to go find the right size wrench for this. Well, I got this part. Easier to take it with me. Alright, let's grease up these deals inside here. So you know, it seems like they don't come greased. And get them out. My hands are getting cold. There we go. Yeah, they don't even come greased. Guess they're easy to go that way. Go. Should be it. Yep. Lined up. There we go. So now we just have to take off the brake line off of there, off the old caliper, and put it on the new one. Got to be kind of quick with this. I can't really show you guys a lot with this, but basically what it is a bolt that has a hole in the center of it, and then the bolt is hollow. I'll show it to you. There's a little hole in the center of it, and then it has a hole in there. That hole lines up inside the middle of the block, and then one of these copper washers goes on each side of it to seal it. So when you tighten it down, it squishes that copper washer and makes a good seal. And then when it's on there, it'll be on that block. The brake fluid will go inside there, and it goes through the bolt and goes inside the brake caliper, and that's how your brake fluid gets into it. So I don't want to lose all my brake fluid. To spend forever to try to get that up there. So we're gonna try to do this in one shot here. Oh, look at that. I think they're different sizes, different size bolts. Yeah. I think this is actually, yeah, I think this is a, let's see if I get it. I got it. I think this is a standard one. So we're going to be real quick about this. Take the gloves off so I don't mishandle anything. Basically, I'm just going to pull off one washer. Start threading this off. You're still going to get air bubble, but I'm trying not to lose all my brake fluid out on the ground. You can see, take out the old one. comes off like so. Like that. Put that up there. There we go. So we got our new one on. All right, now I just need to bleed the brakes. Well, this here, guys, is just a very simple brake bleeding deal. It can be done. They call this the poor man's brake bleeding. Brake bleeder. Basically, it's just a little bottle. It's got a tube that goes down inside of it. And then you got a tube you hook up to your bleeder on your calipers. You mount it a little bit higher than above. You put it on there and you just crack open the bleeder just a little tiny bit. And all you do is just go inside and you just pump the brakes real slow. Just real slow like that. And what it does is it forces all the fluid down, fills up this here. It'll force it up through the line and it goes up there and it'll fill that bottle up just enough that the tube that goes down inside of it is in the fluid. And you just kind of let it sit for a little while and it'll kind of just work the air bubbles out. And it gets all the air out of your line. Real cheap. I do have a vacuum pump. It's right here. I'll get it for you. I do have a brake vacuum pump. And it does the same thing. It just sucks the air out of it and everything. Same kind of thing. Tell you the truth, I just actually usually use the poor man one. They work really just fine and I've used them for years. I'm just going to give it a couple more pumps just to get the fluid higher right up in that bottle. There we go. Now I'm just sitting here looking at it. It's slowly just pulling up in there. It's got still pressure on it. And it's slowly pulling up and I'm just looking for air bubbles. I do not see any. There was one that was right up here that was going in. There's no air bubbles whatsoever. So we got ourselves a good seal. Tighten our bleeder back up. Pull the line off. This one had a plastic cap on there. I'll stick it on there too. There you go. Brakes are all bled. Good to go. So I'll do the other side and then we'll be done. Alright guys, now I'm just going to do some greasing. She goes. I put all brand new Moog arms on this thing. few years ago. So they're all greasable ones. So basically what we're going to do is just grease up the other side and throw the tires back on, torque the wheels back up. Ready to go. We're ready to roll. Hey guys, here's the dirty Big Blue. Well, my truck's been sitting here for about 9 hours. It's been sitting for about 9 hours, not running, not plugged in. I want to see how Big Blue does in the cold weather. So I'm going to fire it up. It's starting to snow here. It is probably about, I know it's below 0. Probably close to probably 0 to 5 below. So let's see what it does. The temperature says -2. Not a problem. Hey guys, woo, look at this stuff. It's starting to come down here, boys and girls. We're actually taking off. It's still Sunday. And we're actually taking off. Let's see, what did I get done? I'm going to tell you why I'm taking off in a minute. Yeah, we should have left a little while ago, I think. These be snow-covered roads here. Woo, spinning it, spinning it. Woo, let her loose, Big Blue. Woo. Alrighty. So what did we get done? Well, we got a phone call from a friend that water pipes were froze up in the house. So I ended up helping out a friend. Ran over, got the water pipes unfroze, ran and got some heat tape, wrapped up the spot that was frozen. It already was wrapped with heat tape, but it was a long stretch and it was right at the end of it. So I'm thinking that it just wasn't that strong. I checked it and the heat tape was working, but it just wasn't very warm at that location. So I went and bought some new piece of heat tape and just wrapped that area just for a quick fix, and wrapped that whole area and just to make sure it doesn't freeze up again. And just ran an extension cord there. All taken care of. So that kind of put a little damper in some of my activities I wanted to do. Took a little bit of my time. But then I ran out and the snowmobile battery was completely dead. It was shot. So I put a charger on it, and then I went to my Expedition and I tried to start that, and the battery was low, very low, and it's really cold. So that truck's always been not a very good starter in the cold. So I had to put the charger on that. I sat around for a little while, got the Expedition going, pulled that in the shop, did the brakes like you saw. Then I was gonna pull the snowmobile in, and I was gonna pull it in the shop. I was gonna grease everything, change the fluids. Somebody sent me comments saying, "What fluids are you talking about? Chain case oil? Because snowmobiles don't have oil." Yes, they do. This one does. I have a 4-stroke snowmobile. It is actually the engine that is in my snowmobile is actually out of the Yamaha R1 racing motorcycle. It is a 1049 cc 4-stroke motor, and it's a beast. And then I got a turbo on it too. So it is really a beast. can look back in videos from, I think it was like in January, February, right when I first started doing YouTube. And there's actually videos where I show the snowmobile and kind of ride it. And then I take John up snowmobile, and you can see it there too. It's a big monster. But I went out there after I got the brakes done. I was going to get the snowmobile in there. I was going to start changing fluids. I was going to grease everything. I saw it was starting to snow. And I went to go start it, and it still wouldn't even crank over or nothing. So I kicked the battery charger up higher on the amperage, and it turned over a little bit, and then I really kicked it up. I kicked it up to the high and tried starting it, and I got it to turn over and over and over, but it will not fire. I'm wondering if I blew some fuses or something, put that much voltage through it. I don't know. I don't have time to mess with it, so I'm gonna go. I will be back on Wednesday. Maybe I can try to figure it out quick. If I don't, it's not a big deal. My brother has extra snowmobiles. His snowmobiles are like brand new and stuff. So he has extra ones. So it's not a big deal if I can't get that one going and stuff. But when I get back, I'm going to run and grab a new battery, put it in there, and see if I can get the fire up. And go from there. Also didn't get the tongue on my trailer fixed, but that's not that's like a 10-minute job. That's nothing. It's 2 bolts, comes off, put a new one on. So that's nothing. So we got quite a bit done. Didn't get some stuff done, and we helped out somebody. So there we go. It was a good Sunday. So now, why am I out driving on Sunday? Because I don't pick up till tomorrow afternoon. I am going to be picking up in De Pere at 2 p.m. The reason why is because there is a very large winter storm coming in here, guys. It's going to be bad. So here's my choice. I decided, okay, I'm going to work on this stuff, and then basically I wanted to get going before this started. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to De Pere and go to sleep. Look at that, snowmobile trail's open. But I'm going to go run up to De Pere, and I'm going to sleep up there. So that way I'm up there, because it's supposed to be really bad in the morning. This is just the start of it. I mean, there's maybe a quarter to half an inch of snow on there on the roads. They're talking, it could get up to like 15 inches right here where I live. And they're saying that the worst time is going to be in the morning, till like 3 p.m. or something like that. So if I waited, I would be sitting there and, yeah, I know, you're spinning there, Big Blue. If I waited, I would be sitting there in the morning, probably having to take off like 10 o'clock in the midst of this huge snowstorm, with more people out here on the road that I have to deal with. So I think the smart play is to get up there. I just wish I would have looked out the window and saw it was starting to snow, but this is not too bad. And plus, I'm empty, so I have no weight, which, you know, is not good with a semi on snow and stuff. So going out tomorrow would have been really bad. This is bad enough. I bet you I got a cloud of snow behind me, because this is like a light fluffy snow. Because it's like 4 degrees. I don't know what this guy's doing in front of me. I think he's braking. Not sure what he's doing. Maybe he just feels uncomfortable and he's slowing down. I don't know. It seemed like I was catching him pretty fast. And there's rumble strips. That's the center of the highway. Dude, you're on the wrong side of the highway. So I'm going to let you guys go. We're just going to run on up there. It should be all right. Just take her nice and easy. Instead of an hour and 10-minute drive, it'll probably be an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive. we're doing 50 here, so I don't know if this guy's turning or what he's doing. I think he just wants me to pass him. I think that's what it is. No, he's actually turning. One note of interest. When I was doing all the tests on the headlamps and everything, and the headlights and all that stuff, and I was going between LED and all HID and halogen and all that stuff, I can't remember who it was. Somebody commented, it might have been a couple people, saying the only problem with LEDs in the wintertime, they don't get warm enough to melt the snow and stuff on your headlamps, because they're a cool bulb. And I'm gonna tell you, that is correct. It is a downfall of the LEDs. They work really good, they light up everything, and they work good for seeing and stuff, but in the wintertime they're not so good because the headlamps don't get warm, so it doesn't melt the snow that builds up on them. I've actually had to clear them last night coming up the Shawano. I had to pull over and clean out my headlamps. The trails look good over there, all groomed up. Get a good foot of snow on there. That'd be some good snow beyond there, baby. But I had to pull over last night and clean my headlamps because they were getting so bad, and then I did it just before. So that is the one downfall to it. So I mean, we're holding 60 miles an hour. Not slipping and sliding around, so we're good to go. So I hope everyone out there is having themselves a great day, a great night when you're watching this here video. And if you are not, we certainly can change all that around and try it all over again tomorrow. We certainly will be trying it tomorrow in the snowstorm. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.